What's a good word? I'm not a big component in changing names. That's the first thing. For, there's no big reason why I am or I'm not. I I like the idea of history, but some people do have a point in some of the name changing. Changing Fort Gordon, I'm not 100% behind changing Fort Gordon. I did 5 years out there. So name changing things, I'm still kind of up in the air with. And I think it has a lot to do with my decision to go whichever way would have a lot to do with the community. What do the people want? You know, and that's how I feel about it because I personally don't have any great big desire.
Would you be in favor of putting that on the ballot?
I think that would be your best and fairest way to go.
Do you believe that most citizens know the history behind the names of Fort Gordon, Calhoun, and,
No.
and the roads? No. So it's not, you don't think that, well, let me rephrase that. Do you think that changing the names of the roads and the base are going to somehow improve race relations in Augusta? If most people don't know the
Well,
history behind the names.
I was stationed there 5 years and I may have read it, but it was never no big deal. Hard question. I think to some degree it could improve, and some degree it could cause more negative things.
Mayor Hardy Davis put a task force together related to exploring the Confederate monuments and name changes of roads and such, and I believe that they recommended to change them. Has the city, again, with the city having, budget issues, has the city explored what the cost of that would be to rename roads in the fort?
We haven't we haven't put anything in the budget to do any changes.
But do y'all know how much it would cost to do that?
No. Let me rephrase that. I don't know. Because they did set up a committee, and there are a couple of commissioners on that committee, but I haven't been to any of those meetings.
Do you think that that should be something that's prioritized in the budget, or if the money is not there, the money should be taken from elsewhere, for example, stormwater, to change the names of roads?
Well, it's going to cost, but it's not going to be that drastic. It just depends on how we want to change them, because the city do have a little. There was a change of Jesse Norman. You named the street an honorary name, so that solves a lot of changing the names of the streets. So you really don't, and the cost is minimum because you just put up a few signs.
So are you saying that you would be in favor of making Gordon Highway honorary Gordon Highway?
You make it up. If you want to change the name of it, you could make it John Doe Honorary Highway. You know, like you have for 15th Street, you have Ruth Crawford.
But doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose if you named it honorary John Calhoun Expressway?
It kind of defeats the purpose, but accomplishes the purpose too.
Okay.
You know, it's just one of my big thing on things like that, because I can't, my personal position or opinion is going to be a lot different than most because of who I am. But you let the people decide what they want to do to some degree. You know, you can't let the public have total domination of things, but you let them have all the input they can on some issues. You know, changing the monuments, for example. My philosophy, changing the monument or leaving the monument there is good because it reminds you of what it stands for. It reminds you to keep a watchful eye that you don't end up in the same situation again. Then there's the other thinking of what it portrays. I think a little weird. I've been in Augusta since '79. I never paid any attention to the statue. Never.
Why do
bothered.
you think all of a sudden it's an issue then? Most people didn't even know they existed.
It's an issue because that's the going thing in our community, in our country, really.
So you think it's more of a national issue? It's not that there's some underlying race issue in Augusta that's driving the monument conversation.
I don't think so. No, no. You know, it's something that you wouldn't really want to see. So I don't look at it. I don't read it. You know. Now, do we want to look out for what's best for the overall community? If the overall community says we need to move the monuments or get rid of the monuments, I'm fine with that. So let's find a way or place to move them. Let's find out who's going to pay for moving it, and that's my major concern, who's going to pay for it.
Just like with the roads,
Same
renaming
thing.
the roads,
Right.
signs, all of that costs money, costs a lot of money, and then moving the monuments. I can only imagine how much that would cost. Is that really something we should be focused on if there's really not an underlying race issue in Augusta?
Right. And so you can't just jump up and say, we're going to move the monument. The monument don't necessarily belong to the city. And that's a big structure. Now, where you going to put it?
Who does the monument belong to?
I think the Daughters of the Revolution or something.
Were any of their representatives on the mayor's committee?
I believe they were, yes. Yeah. But, you know, my thing, I talked with someone about where to put the monument. They had a grand idea, the old museum. You know, I think it would look better over at the old museum than Magnolia Cemetery because it's so crowded. You know, and you could put all your monuments over there, redo the museum and make it some type of museum, you know. But how much is it going to cost to move that thing? It's outrageous. Well, I'm sure it's going to be outrageous, but
Yep.
but it's the thing going on in our society now, and people have you pick a side. Me, I don't care if they're there or not.